child, I am angry upon you because you are doing something that I never asked you to do, and you are still doing it. Even before this video, you were searching for a sign, and your mind was not in peace. Child, babies don't worry, and they don't dread things, so why do adults? As babies, you were not responsible for anything, and everything was taken care of for you. Worry is simply fear that things will not work out the way you want them to. But the one who trusts in me knows that even if things do not work out as they desire, I have a plan that is better than theirs. Yet you still grasp at control, as if I am not faithful, as if I do not see. Do you not know that I see the end from the beginning? Do you not understand that I am not bound by time? That nothing takes me by surprise? That your life is not a series of random events, but is held in the palm of my hand? And yet you try to take the pen from me to write your own story. You run ahead of me as if you know the path better than I do. You demand answers before I am ready to give them, as if the timing of the Almighty can be rushed by the impatience of man. You pray for my will, yet deep in your heart you cling to your will. You say, God, I surrender, yet your hands are closed, gripping tightly to the thing you fear to lose. Child, I did not create you for anxiety. I did not breathe my breath into you so that you would spend your days in unrest. I gave you life so that you might walk with me in peace, so that your soul would find its home in my presence. When you were a child, you rested without fear because you trusted the one who cared for you. But now you have grown in body, yet you have forgotten what it means to depend. You measure safety by your ability to control. You measure joy by your circumstances. You measure my goodness by whether I give you what you ask for. And when the answer is delayed, you think I have forgotten you. My child, I am not like man that I should forget. I do not misplace my promises, nor do I abandon those who belong to me. I have watched over you in the night when you thought you were alone. I have carried you through waters you did not even know were deep enough to drown you. I have sent help before you even knew you would need it. I have withheld certain things, not because I wanted to harm you, but because I knew what was waiting down the road. Yet here you are, accusing me in your heart, doubting my ways, thinking I have left you to fend for yourself. You are looking for signs because you do not believe my voice. You chase confirmation from man when my spirit has already spoken. You want something you can see and touch, because you think that would make faith easier. But if your trust depends on visible proof, then it is not trust at all. It is sight. And I have called you to walk by faith, not by sight. Faith, my child, is not a feeling that comes when everything seems possible. Faith is what you hold on to when everything appears impossible. Faith is when you choose to believe me even when the ground shakes beneath you. Faith is when you say, God is faithful, even when every circumstance tries to tell you he is not. And you, my child, are still learning this. That is why I'm speaking to you now, not to condemn you without hope, but to correct you so that you might grow. When you search for a sign, you reveal that you do not trust my leading. You are like Israel in the wilderness, who saw the Red Sea part, who ate bread from heaven, who drank water from a rock, and yet still asked, is the Lord among us or not? You forget the things I have already done for you. You forget the prayers I have answered, the doors I have opened, the dangers I have kept you from. If I was faithful to you then, will I not be faithful now? You think that by worrying you can prepare yourself for the future. But worry is not preparation. It is poison. It consumes your strength, blinds your vision, and steals the joy of today. You cannot add a single hour to your life by worrying, but you can waste the hours I have given you. When you dwell in fear, you stand on a foundation of sand. But when you dwell in me, you stand on a rock that cannot be moved. My child, I know why you cling to your fears. I know why you rehearse worst-case scenarios in your mind. You think that if you imagine the worst, you will not be caught off guard. But what you are really doing is living in a prison of your own making. You lock yourself away with chains of what if. Yet I have given you the key. That key is trust. Trust in me is not naive optimism. It is rooted in the unshakable truth that I cannot lie, that I cannot fail, that I cannot abandon those I love. You must understand something. My plans for you are not fragile. They do not depend on your ability to perform perfectly. They do not vanish when you stumble. They are not threatened by the actions of others. They are anchored in my will, which no man can overturn. You may delay my timing when you disobey, but you cannot destroy my purpose for you. My counsel stands forever. So why, my child, do you think you must manipulate outcomes? Why do you think you must help me make things happen? I spoke the universe into existence with a word. Do you think your situation is beyond my reach? I raise kings and I bring them down. I open the womb and I close it. I command the winds and the waves. I set boundaries for the seas and tell the sun when to rise. Do you think I cannot order the events of your life? You pray for my will, but you also pray that my will match yours. That is not surrender, that is negotiation. And I am not here to negotiate the terms of your trust. I am here to call you deeper, to invite you into a faith that rests even when you do not understand, that worships even when the answer is not yet or no. I have allowed delays in your life, not to punish you, but to protect you. I have withheld certain things because I knew you were not ready to carry them. I have said no to some of your prayers because they would have led you into harm you could not yet see. You see only the surface. I see the depth. You see one piece of the puzzle. I hold the entire picture. Do not confuse my patience with absence. Do not confuse my silence with abandonment. Sometimes I am quiet because I am working in ways you cannot yet perceive. Sometimes I hold back my voice so that you will learn to trust my character instead of constantly seeking new words. If you only trust me when I am speaking, then you will crumble when I am silent. But if you trust who I am, then you will stand even in the silence. My child, the world teaches you to rely on yourself. It teaches you that strength is found in independence, that wisdom is found in self-reliance. But my kingdom is different. In my kingdom, strength is found in surrender. Wisdom is found in dependence on me. In your weakness, my strength is made perfect. When you are empty, I am able to fill you. When you stop trying to be your own savior, you will discover that I have been your savior all along. You think that rest will come when your circumstances change. But rest does not come from changed circumstances. It comes from changed trust. You could have everything you think you need and still be restless if your trust is misplaced. And you could have nothing the world counts as security and still be at peace if your trust is in me. So I am calling you to lay it down. Lay down your fear, your striving, your constant search for signs. Lay down your desire to control every outcome. Lay down your belief that you know what is best for your life. I am not asking you to stop dreaming. I am asking you to surrender those dreams to me. I am not asking you to stop planning. I am asking you to submit those plans to my wisdom. When you release your grip, you will find that I have been holding you all along. When you stop forcing doors open, you will see that I have already prepared the ones you are meant to walk through. When you stop chasing every possible path, you will hear my voice guiding you on the narrow way that leads to life. And when you truly trust me, you will no longer need constant signs, because my presence will be enough. You will no longer need to know every detail of what is ahead, because you will know that I am ahead of you. You will no longer measure my love by how often I say yes to your requests, because you will see that even my no is rooted in love. My child, I am for you, not against you. I discipline you because I love you, not because I wish to harm you. I correct you because I desire to see you grow, not because I take pleasure in your pain. Every time I withhold something, it is because I have something better. Every time I close a door, it is because I have prepared a different one that leads to greater blessing. Every delay is woven with purpose. Every detour is marked with my wisdom. You are precious to me, more than you can comprehend. You are not just one of many faces in the crowd. You are known by name. I have counted the hairs on your head. I have collected every tear you have cried. I have written your days in my book before one of them came to be. You have never been unseen. You have never been forgotten. You have never been unloved. My child, you are not the first to feel the weight of fear pressing against your chest, to feel uncertainty like a shadow that will not leave, to stand in a place where the future seems clouded and the present feels overwhelming. Many before you have stood where you stand, their hearts trembling, their minds racing, wondering if I would come through for them. And to each of them, I spoke the same truth I speak to you now. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do you remember Abraham? He was a man to whom I gave a promise that his descendants would be as numerous as the stars. Yet years passed, and still he had no child. His wife was old, her womb barren, and all the evidence around him seemed to shout that my promise was impossible. In his heart, worry began to whisper, maybe God forgot. Maybe this will never happen. He tried to solve it in his own strength, to bring the promise about by his own plans, but all he found was frustration. I came to him in a vision and said, "Do not be afraid, Abram. I am your shield, your very great reward." My words to him are my words to you. I am not bound by the limits you see. My timing is perfect, and my promise will not fail. Think of the Israelites standing at the edge of the Red Sea. Behind them, the army of Egypt thundered closer, chariots blazing, weapons ready. Before them, the waters stretched endlessly, no escape in sight. Their hearts were gripped with terror, and they cried out, believing they were doomed. But I spoke through Moses. Do not be afraid. Stand firm, and you will see the deliverance the Lord will bring you today. And then I did what no man could do. I made a way where there was no way. I split the sea, and my people walked through on dry ground. I am the same God now. When you see only barriers, I see a path you cannot yet imagine. Remember Elijah after Mount Carmel. He had seen my fire fall from heaven, had seen the false prophets defeated. Yet when Jezebel threatened his life, fear drove him into the wilderness. He sat under a tree, despairing, wishing to die. In his mind, all was lost. His mission had failed. But I came to him, not in the wind, nor in the earthquake, nor in the fire, but in a gentle whisper saying, "You are not alone. I still have work for you. My child, I have spoken to you before, and I will speak again, not always in the thunder, but in the quiet assurance that I am with you, and my plan is unfolding. Consider the widow of Zarephath. She had only a handful of flour and a little oil left. She was preparing her last meal for herself and her son, convinced they would soon die of hunger. Her situation looked hopeless, but I sent my prophet to her with a word. Do not be afraid. She obeyed, gave what little she had, and found that her jar of flour and jug of oil did not run out. I am the God who provides, even when resources seem gone, even when every calculation says it is impossible. Think of David, hunted by Saul, hiding in caves, uncertain if he would live to see the promises I had made him fulfilled. There were nights when his heart was heavy, when his questions outnumbered his answers. Yet again and again, I whispered into his spirit, "Do not be afraid, for I am with you." David learned to say, "When I am afraid, I will trust in you." My child, I am teaching you the same, to trust, not when the path is clear, but when it is dark. Do you remember my servant Daniel? Taken from his home, thrown into a foreign land, surrounded by those who did not worship me. Threats rose against him, laws were made to destroy him, yet he prayed as he always had, because his trust was not in man but in me. When they cast him into the lion's den, I shut the mouths of the lions. Fear cannot devour those who rest in my hand. And Peter, he saw me walking on the water and asked to come to me. At my word, he stepped out of the boat, but when the wind roared and the waves rose high, his eyes shifted from me to the storm. Fear pulled him down, but my hand was there to lift him. My child, storms will rise around you, but keep your eyes fixed on me, not on the waves. Even my beloved disciples, who walked with me daily, often let worry fill their hearts. They saw me feed thousands, heal the sick, calm the storm. Yet when they were in a boat and the wind threatened to sink them, they cried, "Lord, don't you care that we're perishing?" I stood and rebuked the wind and the waves, and then I said to them, "Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith? These words I say to you as well, not to shame you, but to call you higher. You have seen my works before. Trust that I will act again. My child, I have always been the God who speaks to fear and commands it to leave. I told Joshua as he faced the walls of Jericho, "Do not be afraid or discouraged, for the Lord your God is with you, wherever you go." I told Gideon, hiding in the winepress, unsure he was strong enough, "Peace, do not be afraid, you are not going to die." I told Jeremiah, young and feeling unworthy, "Do not be afraid of them, for I am with you and will rescue you." And I'm telling you now in the same voice, with the same love, do not fear. You see, fear is not a new enemy, but it is a defeated one. I have been breaking the power of fear in my children's lives since the beginning, and I will break it in yours. But you must let me. You must stop feeding it with your thoughts, stop rehearsing your worries, stop making agreements with what I have already overcome. The enemy will always whisper the same lies. God has forgotten you. You are alone. Things will never change. These are the same lies he spoke in the garden, the same lies he used in the wilderness. But the truth is unchanging. I am faithful. I am present. I am working all things together for your good. When the Israelites stood on the border of the Promised Land, they saw giants and walled cities and were afraid. They forgot that I had already brought them out of Egypt with mighty power. Only Joshua and Caleb held to faith, saying, "The Lord is with us. Do not be afraid." But the people listened to fear instead, and it cost them 40 years in the wilderness. My child, do not let fear keep you wandering when I am ready to lead you into promise. Do you remember how I cared for my people in the wilderness? Their clothes did not wear out. Their feet did not swell. I gave them bread each morning and water from the rock. I guided them with a cloud by day and a fire by night. Not once did I fail them, though they often failed me. If I could sustain a nation in the desert, will I not sustain you where you are? And think of Mary, my servant, when the angel came to her with news that would change her life forever. She was troubled, not because she doubted my power, but because she could not see how it would be. The angel's first words to her were, "Do not be afraid, Mary. You have found favor with God." Favor does not mean an easy path, but it does mean my presence is with you in every step. Joseph, too, faced uncertainty. His plans for his life were suddenly interrupted. The path before him seemed confusing, even painful. But I sent my messenger to say, "Do not be afraid to take Mary as your wife." I was guiding him in a way that did not make sense to him at the time, but it was my perfect will. My child, I am guiding you in ways that may not yet make sense, but you will see in time. Even my son, in the Garden of Gethsemane, felt the weight of what was coming. His soul was overwhelmed to the point of death. Yet he surrendered to my will, saying, "Not my will, but yours be done." And because he trusted me fully, salvation came to the world. You do not see the full picture of what your trust will accomplish, but if you surrender, I will work through you in ways that will outlast your life. I have walked with my children through every valley, through every trial, through every dark night. I have never once been defeated, and I will not start with you. So when you feel the fear rising, remember Noah, who built an ark though the world mocked him. Remember Ruth, who left everything familiar to follow me into the unknown. Remember Paul, who sang in prison because he knew my word could not be chained. These are your brothers and sisters in faith, and they all learned this truth. When I say do not be afraid, it is because I am already ahead of you, making a way. My child, I am not calling you to pretend the danger is not real. I am calling you to remember that I am greater. I am not asking you to deny the storm. I am asking you to trust the one who commands it. I am not saying there will be no pain. I am saying the pain will not have the final word. The days ahead may have challenges you do not yet see, but they also have victories you cannot yet imagine. You will face moments where your faith will be tested, but those moments are not meant to destroy you. They are meant to prove my strength in you. Every trial is a place where fear is challenged and faith is built. Every delay is a chance for you to see that I am faithful, even when I am silent. You have asked me for signs, but I am asking you for trust. You have wanted me to show you the whole map, but I am asking you to take the next step. You have wanted me to remove all risk, but I am asking you to walk even when it feels risky, because my presence is your safety. So remember, my child, the same God who shut the mouths of lions, who parted seas, who fed multitudes with a few loaves, who brought water from the rock, who raised the dead. That same God is the one who speaks to you now. I have not changed. My power has not diminished. My love has not grown weary. Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I have called you by name. You are mine. When you pass through the waters, I will be with you. When you walk through the fire, you will not be burned. When the storm rages, I will be your peace. When the night falls, I will be your light. And when you feel alone, I will remind you, I am here. Always. Now let go of your worry. Lift your eyes to me. Take my hand and follow where I lead. You will see my goodness in the land of the living, and you will learn, as Abraham learned, as Moses learned, as David learned, as Peter learned, as countless before you have learned, that those who trust in the Lord will never be put to shame. I am your God. I am your peace. I am your shield. I am your very great reward. Trust me, my child, and fear no more.